On the news at 7, Governor Aiyedatiwa rallies Ondo federal lawmakers for All Progressives Congress unity. University lecturers crave government transparency in New Deal. Opposition condemns killing of plateau miners, demands urgent government action. And from the foreign scene, Russia launches missile attacks on Ukraine as peace talks continue in Abu Dhabi. Good evening and a warm welcome to the news. Kunle Ariyo is my name. Governor Loki Aiyedatiwa has called on federal lawmakers from the state to prioritize the overall development, peace and stability of Ondo State as a collective responsibility. He made the call while hosting the 9 members of the House of Representatives from the state at the Government House in Akure. The lawmakers and the governor discussed aligning federal and state development goals to ensure Ondo State benefits from federal projects under President Bola Tinubu's administration. Governor Aiyedatiwa described the collaboration with lawmakers a huge win for the state and necessary for maintaining development and stability ahead of APC's congresses. The federal lawmakers, who thanked the governor for the meeting, commended his administration's development strides, promising to put politics aside and contribute to Ondo State's development and the ruling party's growth. After months of negotiations, disagreement, and nationwide attention, the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, have entered into a new agreement aimed at addressing long-standing agitations in Nigeria's public university system. But beyond the signed document and official statement, critical questions remain. Will this agreement finally end the cycle of industrial action? Can Nigerian university regain academic stability and global competitiveness? In this special report, Omoni Beji examines the federal government ASU agreement and what it portends for university education in Nigeria. Her report.
Nigeria's university system has for decades been caught in a cycle of negotiations and strikes, leaving students stranded and academic programs repeatedly disrupted. This new agreement between the federal government and ASU is therefore being viewed as another opportunity to break that cycle and rebuild trust in public university education. The agreement reportedly covers key issues including funding, staff welfare, infrastructure development, and mechanisms to ensure stability in the academic calendar. A university lecturer, Dr. Gbenga Abimbola, recalled that this is not the first time both parties have signed agreements only for implementation challenges to trigger renewed disputes. While commending federal government's initiative on the step taken, Dr. Abimbola craved transparency and accountability in implementing every clause of the agreement to avoid another round of industrial action.
The agreement itself is subject to renewal and renegotiation every 3 years according to the terms in 2009. Here we are now. So now this 2025 agreement that have been signed, it captured many issues and it is good for the university system in Nigeria. It has the potential. But that potential can be translated into reality only when government fulfills the promise. This is part of the agreement. That is one. So that is government can decide to back out as governments in governments in years had done. So if government does not fulfill that agreement, will just be a mere paper and nothing will happen, and they will be back to square one. That is the first thing. The second leg that will make the potential to come to reality is the administrators of the universities. That is the vice chancellors and the councils of the public universities. So if government decides to follow the agreement in totality, and the councils, the monies are released, especially the ones that have to do with monetary aspect, and also autonomy is granted, and if the councils and the vice chancellors, that is the leadership, the principal officers of the universities, if they do not administer the funds very well, if they do not make sure that things are done the normal way and according to laid down rules and regulations, the agreement will not also achieve its aim.
A former Vice Chancellor, Professor Olu Aderomu, lauded the agreement as a progressive move that could improve teaching conditions and research outputs if faithfully executed.
This new policy is aimed at revitalizing the Nigerian education system, thereby bringing a kind of stability to the system. The new policy says about 1.8 million in additional allowances for professors and about 870,000 naira for readers to enhance academic performance, to develop research programs in Nigerian universities. It's the best that has ever happened in more than 2 decades, if not since independence. It will reduce tension in the universities. It will almost eradicate industrial strikes in the universities. You know, I know of some years back, some students spent 6 years in the universities, not because they were not good students, but because of strikes. But this will bring stability to the system.
For social analyst Mr. Tope Okeowo, he showed optimism about the positive impact on students and parents who, according to him, are the biggest stakeholders having endured prolonged academic delays over the years. He stressed the need for state government-owned institutions to be carried along in every policy that concerns ASU.
Parents should be hopeful. We have no choice than to be hopeful. Students have no choice than to be hopeful. Are you getting my point? You just have to be hopeful, because this incessant break in academic calendar is not good for this system. It's not good for the system at all. And I hope that the government should go ahead and implement all those things that they are clamoring for. Are good things. Independence of universities, increase in research grants, and university autonomy, increase in the salary and wages of lecturers. There are things that are good.
As stakeholders weigh in, Nigerians will be watching closely to see whether this new agreement marks a turning point for university education or yet another chapter in a long-running struggle for reform. Omoriola Humbeji, Osrc News.
The Joint Consultative Forum of Tertiary Education Institutions owned by Katsina State Government has suspended its 2-week warning strike. The strike was declared by the forum on January 12, 2026, following what it described the government refusal to address its demands. According to the chairman of the forum, Dr. Mohammed Nalsi Gidat, the demands include the non-approval and non-implementation of 35% and 25% salary increment for staff of the affected institutions. Nasa Gildad said it was agreed that negotiations would commence immediately with the government to resolve all the lingering issues. Appreciating the affected parents and students, he assured the forum's determination to pursue the demands vigorously. And still on education, the federal government has reiterated its dedication to building an inclusive, equitable, and future-ready education system. The federal government disclosed this through its Ministry of Education as the world marks the 2026 International Day of Education, saying the education reform would place Nigerian youth at the heart of transforming the nation's learning landscape. It emphasized that with over half of the Nigerian's population under the age of 13, the federal government is transitioning from top-down education model to participatory systems that empower learners through innovation, digital fluency, and entrepreneurship. The government called on parents, communities, and the private sector to deepen collaboration towards achieving SDG 4 and securing Nigeria's future through youth-led education transformation. Federal government restated its commitment to ensuring that every Nigerian learner has access to quality education equipped with the skills, digital fluency, and entrepreneurial mindset needed to drive national transformation. As artificial intelligence is advancing at a record speed, cyber threats are becoming more sophisticated and social media continues to shape public behavior on massive scale. These three forces, AI ethics, cybersecurity, and social media, are now intersecting in ways that present both incredible opportunities and serious risks. Our reporter Adeomi Taiwo tells us more.
The ethics of artificial intelligence is no longer a technical debate. It's a question of trust, fairness, and human rights. Without clear global standards, AI systems can reinforce bias, compromise privacy, and make life-changing decisions without transparency or accountability.
The use of AI for content creation has to follow ethical standard of AI. For instance, using AI to malign, to do all sorts of things that can bring disrepute to individual, a nation, or things, all those things are things that are taken care of by ethical use of AI.
Yes,
you must
sir.
know the limit of using AI. You must know when to use AI. You must know the effect of the content you are creating, not only on individuals, on the society at large.
It is important to note that the end result of using an artificial intelligence is affect humans. When there is a fault in any system, say for instance there is a form of inaccuracy or something in any system, somebody has to be responsible. Now, one of the things the ethical part of AI does is to a particular source. The fact that there is artificial intelligence does not mean you should be susceptible to data leak or information wrongly, accessed. There has to be some form of ethics guiding the practice of it.
AI can kind of like serve as a surveillance system, and it can also cross the line into over surveillance. That is, it can infringe on individuals' privacy rights without consent. So that is one of the ethical issues.
But even as the world tries to regulate AI, cyber criminals are weaponizing it. Hackers now deploy adaptive phishing schemes, AI-generated deepfakes, and ransomware that studies its targets, attacks that easily outpace traditional security methods. Denial of service disruptions and supply chain infiltrations are also rising, prompting governments and organizations to embrace zero-trust security models and exploit quantum-resistant encryption.
The coming of AI into the issue of cybersecurity is both a blessing and disguise. Because, number one, there are new threat landscape with the coming of AI, and there are new countermeasure approaches with the coming of AI. So it's both a blessing and a curse. But the most, in Nigeria, we always talk of the one we call the business email compromise. The one we call Yahoo Yahoo. In professional terms, it's called business email compromise. It used to be called personal email compromise, but it's called business email compromise. Yes, it's under that, but what is the most potent is phishing. Is the most potent as far as we are concerned in Nigeria that affects individuals.
One of the threats is human error. Now, most users don't know how to correctly store data. Now, in not knowing how to store data, there are people waiting at the end of a data that is not correctly stored to hurt you or to harm the system. People sometimes leave some loopholes, and in the process of testing for vulnerabilities in your system, they get into it and make use of whatever it is they want to do.
When a human who is corrupt, a human who wants to perpetrate evil, handles any software that is AI driven, it can be manipulated. Now, what do they do? Take for example, we have cyber threats, we have cyber crime, where somebody can just sit in his house and commit a crime in the comfort of his room. Somebody can just send you, there's what we call phishing. Somebody can send you an email that looks like the original. Maybe you are looking for a job. Somebody can just sit in the comfort of his room and send you an email that looks like the original, and before you know it, you are scammed.
And then there is social media, a platform that connects billions, yet also fuels misinformation, polarization, and growing mental health concerns, especially among young people.
We have been encouraging all the traditional media platforms, television, radio, newspaper, magazine. They must have their own social media platforms so that it will reduce the spread of fake news. Once there is something they post on social media, you can verify it. If it's on Osrc platform or Orange FM platform, you will know that this is a credible media platform where you can find out about that particular story that is being, or rumor that is being spread. So the advent of social media for our community, driving of community development, it has been enormous. And the negative aspect as well, it has been issue of fake news.
As AI ethics, cybersecurity threats, and social media influence converge, experts warn that the choices made today will determine whether technology strengthens society or deepens its vulnerabilities. Adewumi Taiwo, Osrc News.
We'll take a break now. When we'll come back, we'll give you more stories. Please stay with us.
Ondo ibẹ̀ nílé mi o. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbé lárugẹ. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ilẹ̀ ibi agbébíni tàbí tá a fi ṣe bí ìjòkó jẹ́bi tó yẹ ká máa gbé lárugẹ. Nítorí ẹ̀ la ṣe wá ń pè yín. Kí ẹja jọ celebrate ká jubilate ká dẹ̀ congratulate ara wa. Títí ayẹyẹ 50 ọdún ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo léyìí tó fẹ́ wáyé yìí. Èyí iléeṣẹ́ ńláńlá àti iléeṣẹ́ kéréje. Oníṣòwò, oníṣẹ́ ọwọ́, ilé ìwé, ilé ìjọsìn. Gbogbo union clubs associations ẹ̀yin ọba ẹ̀yin ìjòyè. Àti gbogbo ọmọ ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo àtẹ̀yìntẹ́ fi bẹ̀ ṣe bí ìjòkó. Ó yá ẹja jọ kíra wa. Ká kí gómìnà, ká kí igbákejì, ká kí sínétọ̀, ká kí ẹ̀mẹ́sà rẹ̀ ẹ̀mẹ́sẹ̀. Àti gbogbo àwọn tó di ipò pàtàkì mú. Ká pè wọ́n ká kí wọn. Osrc television Orange 94.5 FM àti 96.5 FM alálàyé. Owó díẹ̀ la ó gbà lọ́wọ́ yín o. Torí àjọ ń ṣe ayẹyẹ náà ni. Ìgbìmọ̀ iléeṣẹ́ Osrc Media Group ló ń pè wá. Àmàkù àṣeyẹ 50 ọdún o típínlẹ̀ Ondo ti bẹ̀rẹ̀. Kò síbi tí mo wà tí mo jẹ́ gbàgbé o. Ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo tiwa ni o.
Welcome back and thanks for rejoining us. You can watch us live on our digital channel, Moplex 720, on our website, www.osrc.ng, or follow us on Facebook at Osrc TV, and on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel, Osrc TV Ondo. The Federal High Court sitting in the Federal Capital Territory has granted an interlocutory injunction restraining a United Kingdom-based activist, Sandra Duro, and Meta Platforms operators of Facebook from further circulating materials alleged to be defamatory against Senator Natasha Akpoti-Doahan. The ruling was delivered by Justice Mohammed following a motion or notice filed by the claimant seeking urgent judicial protection against what she described sustained online attacks on her reputation. The court held that the application raised a serious question to be tried and that immediate intervention was required to prevent irreparable damage to the claimant's reputation pending determination of the substantive suit. Justice Mohammed consequently ordered that Sandra Duro is restrained from further publishing, posting, sharing, disseminating, or promoting on Facebook or any other social media platform any material containing defamatory, scandalous, or injurious content against the applicant pending the hearing and determination of the substantive suit. The court further ordered the social media company to preserve all electronic device evidence relevant to the dispute for the purpose of aiding the court in the fair determination of the substantive suit. The federal government has warned that Section 1 of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway may be closed to traffic if indiscipline by motorists continues to endanger lives and disrupt construction work. Minister of Works Dave Umahi, who spoke in Lagos during a parade of suspected vendors of cat air reflective light on the Third Milan Bridge, said the temporary opening was meant to provide relief for road users while construction work continued on the project. Section 1 of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway was temporarily opened to traffic during the Christmas period to ease traffic and improve the movement of commuters. Umahi said the situation deteriorated due to traffic indiscipline, including driving against traffic and excessive speeding. He said what was intended to reduce congestion became a nightmare, stressing that both the leadership and citizens shared responsibility for national development. The minister warned that if wrong-way driving and excessive speeding persist after 1 week, the federal government would not have no option but to close Section 1 of the highway until construction is completed. The human kidney plays a critical role in keeping the human body alive, filtering waste product from the blood, balancing blood fluid, regulating blood pressure, and supporting vital body functions. But when the kidney fails, human toxin built up in the body, leading to serious health complications and, in severe cases, death. In Nigeria, kidney failure is no longer a condition of old age, as increasing number of young people are now being diagnosed. Blessing Obey reports.
The kidneys are vital organs in the human body, responsible for filtering waste and excess fluid from the blood, regulating blood pressure, balancing electrolytes, and supporting overall body function. When the kidneys begin to fail, these functions are disrupted. Waste products and toxins build up in the bloodstream, leading to swelling, fatigue, high blood pressure, and other life-threatening complications. Kidney or renal failure occurs when the organs can no longer perform their role effectively, often when kidney function drops below 15%. once considered a condition relatively limited to older people. Chronic kidney disease is now increasingly diagnosed amongst Nigerians in their 20s and 30s, raising concerns in the medical circle.
Kidney failure cases are increasing every day. First is the use of drugs among our youth. You find out that most youth now, they use so many types of drugs, including marijuana, cocaine, heroin. Some don't even take water, they stay dehydrated. Then high rate of infection too can cause increase in kidney failure.
Medical practitioners attribute the growing prevalence among young people to rising cases of hypertension and diabetes.
If that happens, that means the waste products now leak back into the bloodstream. Do you understand? So this is a major, ditto the high blood pressure. You know, these blood vessels, there's a normal blood pressure for the body, and it's across board within the system. So when there's high blood pressure and the blood vessels will not function in around that kidney, will not function appropriately.
That serve as a form of filters to the kidney. So if there is inflammation of the glomerulus, the use of so many over-the-counter drug, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. You see so many youths now, little thing, they will go and take it. Analgesic, they can even take up to 4 analgesic at a time to reduce pain for them. It can cause kidney problem. Dehydration, most people don't take enough water, especially during this dry season. Because of excessive dehydration, it can lead to formation of kidney stone, and the formation of the kidney stone can also lead to kidney dysfunction, leading to kidney failure.
Experts warn that without early detection, many patients only seek medical help at advanced stages when treatment options are limited and costly. Blessing Obi, Osrc News.
The Plateau State chapter of People's Democratic Party (PDP) has condemned the killing of 7 miners in Kuru district of Jos South Council, describing the incident and another tragic reminder of state deepening security crisis. The victim, all young citizens working at a mining site, were reportedly attacked on Wednesday. The party's publicity secretary, Felix Deyop, accused the federal government of failing its constitutional responsibility to safeguard lives and property. Deyop warned that continued loss of lives under the current administration erodes public confidence and puts democracy under siege, adding that the pattern of violence threatens the state's long-standing reputation as a home of peace and tourism. And straight to the foreign scene, Ukraine has condemned a fresh wave of Russian strike, which killed 1 person and injured 35 others, as talks with the United States aimed at ending the war are set to resume. Ukraine's Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha said the attack ordered by Russian leader Putin had hit not only the people but also the negotiation table. Delegations from Russia, Ukraine and the US have been meeting in Abu Dhabi for the first trilateral talks, which the Kremlin launched a full-scale invasion of its neighbor in 2022. Reports say some progress had been made, but the key issue of territory remains unresolved. With that, we have come to the end of the bulletin tonight, but before we go, we'll take another look at the main point. We told you that Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has called on federal lawmakers from Ondo State to see the overall development, peace and stability of the state as a collective responsibility that requires the commitment of everyone. He made a call while hosting all the 9 National Assembly legislators to a dinner at the government house in Akure. Also, we informed you that the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has condemned the killing of 7 miners in Jos metropolis. Also, from the foreign scene, we informed you that Russian missile attacks on Ukraine have claimed 1 life and injured 35 others as peace talks in the United Arab Emirates resume. And that's it on the news at 7. We thank you for being a part of it. Good evening.